try and do in this situation is to trim it a bit just to have less to work with. So let's go up, cut above and trim. Beauty. And now we've got that. Much better little file to work from. All right, so first thing what we do here is we do alignment, align positive and visic, place your points. You have this little thing here that says place heel point, place first MTPJ, then place the fifth. Done. When it's ready, we align for the valgus. That lines up your scan plate. Has a little think, tick tock, as everything gets put around. There we go. Apply. Excellent. So the first thing we want to do is get this foot over the top of the scan plate. So let's move it right. Let's move it down. And rotate it. Okay, so you can see in this position we've got cut through the mesh. So those toes need to come up a little bit till we can see mesh all the way through. Yep, that's nice. Let's adjust that from the side. I always like to move this heel back a little bit to sort of give me the shape of the foot in the shoe. Because most shoes, they don't have a dead square heel. They've got a heel cut that comes up and around. And I look at the top position of the orthotic device and think, right, what's going to be the position there? And how's that going to sit in the shoe? Okay, so that's good. Let's adjust the mesh from the heel. Now we want to position this, of course, in the middle between these bars. This is basically your template that comes off the mill. So let's get that into the right position. And let's rotate everything to the position I want it to be in. Okay. All right, that heel probably needs to come up a bit. That looks a bit better. Toes up, first met's up, one of the toes a smidge. Okay, so with my daughter's foot, I know that she's got quite a rear foot varus, which is created by this prominence in the medial calf. You see in this position that the heel bisection sits very much medial to the subtalar axis position. So every time that contacts the ground, that's going to generate a supination moment. Part of me wonders around the development of a rear foot varus is if someone has a prominence in the medial calf tubercle from a very early age, whether this generates sort of like a twisting force in the foot, in the heel, especially as the foot's developing, whether that's what creates that weird rear foot varus. But this is just a thought experiment, making stuff up as I go along. But this is how we get better, I suppose. We think about things and we apply, what's the next logical step and what could be causing this. So let's look from the side, let's look from the sole again. I just need to move that whole foot around. So let's rotate that a bit to the left. That's better. Am I happy with that position? The heel sits nicely, rear foot sits nicely. The foot is better balanced in that position. Cool, so let's close that. Next step will be our skive. Gonna have a little think. All right, so now for the sake of another video I was doing, I had my control point marked here, but in Anna's foot, she actually needs her skive sitting lateral to the subtalar axis. So we can see the axis position there. So what we're going to do is we're going to move that point and we're going to put it back in over here. First thing we want to do is we want to try and get that line here sort of parallel with the subtalar axis. So let's adjust the angle of that a little bit. Cool. Let's move that forwards. Now let's change some of the pitch through here. Let's get the depth. It's looking better. So we can see from that position the angle of the subtalar, or sorry, the skive, and we can also see that it sits lateral to the subtalar axis, which is good. That's what we want. So I'm pretty happy with that one. Why don't you just try and change the pitch? Move it backwards. See just through there that the skive plate sits high. Just change that pitch a little bit. Now that's better. That sits in there. Okay, happy with that. There's the thing about making your own wedge or subtalar skive or medial heel skive or lateral heel skive. You can play around with that just to get it into the spot that you want. I mean, you've assessed the foot, so you should be the best person qualified to put that in. So we can still see, even from the inside of the scan, you can see your plantar fascia accommodation, your subtalar axis. Apologies for that double axis there. I started a bit medial on that side. So we close that one. That's good. Now what we can do, get that foot back up. Pop in your plantar fascia accommodation. So let's edit the plantar fascia. Yep, we wanted a nice deep one. So you can see in this position, our plantar fascia accommodation should be there. So let's move that to the scan position. Let's get rid of one of these points. So right click that, delete. I'll bring that one in place. I always like to have a long plantar fascia accommodation because, you know, the plantar fascia can get quite tight from the first MTPJ right back into the base of the calcaneus. So I palpate along that just to make sure I can feel that. Now, it looks a little bit like a funny position because the angle of the scan is not quite sort of straight on. But this is the benefit of actually marking something and putting it in. You felt clinically where the plantar fascia is. And now what you've got is you've got the ability to put your accommodation in exactly where you need that. So if that is done, let's get out of that. Exit overlay. Okay. So good to go. So let's process that. I always like to elevate the cut plane height if I can. So that just means that the orthotic will be much higher when you get into the modeling phase. So let's select that and then let's just process. High res. It will tick-tock away. All right, so watch out for the next video. We're going to talk a little bit more about how to model the orthotic device from the scan position. Cheers.